Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away. And if the t-shirt hasn't given it away or the great big alien standing behind me, today I'm going to be doing the next 6 stages of the Fanhome release and build E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So I'm going to be doing stages 93 to 98, and I have looked through these because I was a little bit perturbed by how big the box was, and we are actually now going to be starting to put the skin on ET. But before we do that, the first 2 stages are building a remote control so we can test everything. So we should be able to have him talking and doing everything he's going to do. And then we're finishing up by putting some of the skin on, mainly the belly and the feet. Now, I don't know if this is still available, so you will have to check your territory, but I have put a link in the video description, and you've also got that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So I'm going to do stages 93 and 94 together because it all involves the remote control. And as you can see, we've got this part of the remote here. We're going to put that in like that. And then in stage 94, which I will just bring over here now, we're going to be finishing that remote control, and I will be able to test all the things that ET is meant to do, hopefully. Now, I have put batteries in ET. It takes 6 AA batteries, although I'm not actually sure what sort of batteries the remote control takes. We'll find that out in a second. Let's get this open. Okay, so here's the control board for remote control. All the switch buttons are already on here. I'm just going to touch all of them to make sure they all click. That looks good. We've got a couple of lights on here as well. Now we have some dip switches on here, which are all to do with language. So at the moment, they're all in the off position. If they're all in the off position, that's going to be UK. Now, if I number these 1, 2, and 3, if I put the top 2 to the right, that's going to be on the on position. That's going to be Italian. If I just put the top 1 to the right, that's French. If I put the bottom 1 to the right, that's Spanish. And if I put the middle one to the right, that's going to be German. So if I'm looking at the remote control, just on the top camera here, basically I want the number 1 going down here. So the ones with the numbers on, which is this one here, is going to go this side, which means this one is going to be going this side over here. So just have a quick look at how that looks. Perfect. I'm then going to take this control board and I'm going to be putting that on top so the LED is sitting just in the groove at the back. And then I'm gently just going to put that to one side and open up stage 94. So I'm going to need AAA batteries for this. And I've got some brand new AAA batteries here. So I'll get them in now. 1 and 2. Put this top on here. And then put this over the top of what we just created first. It's going to make 1 unit there, and I'm holding it in with these long screws here. Need 4 of these. So I'll get the 2 corners in first, then I'll put the other 2 corners in. And then I just want to check this remote works, so I'm going to press one of these buttons, and as you can see, the light is going there. So that's an IR sensor at the top, but the light's showing that this is operating. Okay, so I've cut away there because we're going to be doing stage 95, and 95 is actually where we do test this. Now in 95 we do get one of ET's foots, looking just like that, or one of his feet. Feeling the material, it is a squishy material, but I do think CA glue is going to work a treat on this. I reckon CA glue is going to be absolutely fine. Let me just show you the instructions. So it's looking just like this here. And there is the foot. And this is all the controls for the remote control, telling you what every individual one does. And this is the rest of the magazine. So we are basically in a position to test ET now. Now, for transparency, I've already tested it and I'm going to show you everything now. I had 3 things wrong with ET and it's taken 2 hours to fix those things. But I'm hoping that my problems, if you're having these problems, might be able to help you as well. So first problem I had was the left arm was not lifting. And to this day, apparently it says on the instructions that if I press number 7 on the remote, the left arm will lift. It doesn't. Number 7 makes the eyes move. The only way I can get the left arm to lift is by touching the left arm sensor, and it works there. So the motors and everything are working fine. The switch is working fine here. So I do think there's something wrong with the remote control there. So I don't know if that's everyone's having that problem, but I thought I'll just tell you that problem straight away. The second problem, the head was lifting and then chunk, 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 not going any further. I was like, what on earth is causing this? This is something that I didn't have when I did the test. That's because where the head goes into the chute, you had to put a screw into the back. That screw was impeding in the tube. So you know what I did? I just removed the screw. Unless ET's upside down, you're not really going to need it into place. So I had to take these shoulder parts off and get the screw out from the back. And the head can lift up on its own. I can take it out now. But when it works, you'll see no impeding. So that fixed that problem. And then the last problem I had was these eyelids here, that they weren't blinking properly. And I, again, tested those and they were working fine. And this time it turned out to be the DC motor. The bushes in it, I don't know what was wrong with it, but it was going like this, even with no pressure on it. So I switched the motor out and I put a new motor in just the eyelids there. So we're going to be testing this now, and I'm going to be showing you all the features of this. So I turned it on by the switch on the back, and the heartbeat is going to beat twice. Now, all the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4 and A, B, C, D all do sort of like pre-done programs. So I'm going to do the 4 middle buttons because they all do something specific to the movement of ET. So number 5 first is going to make his head go up and down. Pretty cool, huh? Excellent. So I'm going to stop that moving. Let me get the instructions out actually, so I can actually see for myself what the instructions say it's supposed to do and what it actually does. Now, number 6 says it's going to move the right arm up and down, and the LED on the right index finger is going to light up. So hopefully you can see that. Pressing number 6, and it goes up, and there we go. It lights up. Now I can actually angle this how I want it, but for now, just so you can see it, that's there. So the right arm is working. Number 7, this is the one that's supposed to move the left arm, but watch this. When I press it, the eyes are doing their thing. As you see, blinking and doing that, but not doing anything with the arm. So I think number 7, I think there might be a misprint in here. I think that's the eyes. Number 8 is the heart, as you can see here. Now, if I want this left arm to go up, I press this.
E.T., E.T., E.T.
And he does that.
E.T., E.T., E.T. E.T., E.T., E.T.
It's on a set program, these ones.
E.T., E.T., E.T.
So it will shut up on its own in a second. And there you go, he's shut up now. So, so if I press number 1 first.
Be good.
That's cool. Number 2.
E.T. Fanhome.
Cool. Number 3.
E.T., E.T., E.T.
We've heard that one a load of times. Number 4.
I'll be right here.
It's good having those movements in the mouth, but it don't seem like they match the actual noise, and I'm wondering if that's because of different languages. I don't know. Let's go for number A. That's supposed to be head up, down, eyelid movement. It's going to do a lot of movements.
Be good. Be good. Be good.
Now these programs, you have to let the whole thing just run, unfortunately. Let's try, what's this one? B.
E.T. Fanhome. E.T. Fanhome.
Then we've got left arm up and down, eyelid, eye mouth movements, and this.
E.T. 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 E.T.
Does say it goes on for a minute, that does. That's why I keep cutting away. So the last one to press is number D. This does this.
I'll be right here.
So, ET works.
I'll B.
Shut up. Right. ET works. We know that switch does. I want to see what this sensor does over here. So let's press this one.
E.T. Phone home.
That does that.
E.T. Phone home.
Cool. And then the last sensor we've got is there's one on the head. And I don't know what that does. Let's try that one.
Be
Oh.
good.
There you go. That's what the head sensor does.
Be good.
Right. That's driving me nuts now. So I'm going to turn that off and we're going to move to the next stage. So stage 96. Here's the instructions here. And we've got the other foot here, the right foot. We're going to have to take ET off his base here to get the feet into place. So I'm going to be taking him apart just like that. God, I can't believe we're going to take him all apart because we do need to get these feet over that base there. So that's what we're doing in this stage. Let's do that now. So here's his other foot here with the padding in it, looking just like that at the moment. Oh, bless. Okay, let's put them to one side. And in the instructions here, it wants me to disconnect these 3 wires from the front and these 2 wires from the back. So when I disconnect these, I am going to label them up because you know me, I'm not going to put them back in the right place. So as you see there, I've taken out the 3 there and I've labelled them 1, 2, 3, so I know what order they go in. Turn ET round, and I've got the loudspeaker, which is on the right-hand side here, to take out. And this big black cable on the left here to take out. Now, I won't label these up because they're so different, I'm not going to get these confused. What I then need to do is I need to pull out these sides here, and I should be able to lift ET up off the base. Just like that. I'm going to lie him down gently. As a matter of fact, the advantage I've got is that I can disconnect this ribbon cable from the back. And because I haven't got this in now, I can just lift it out. I don't know why we need to screw this in, to be honest with you. So that leaves just this area here. And I want to remove, it's probably best on the top camera, I've got 4 screws here and 4 screws here. And then once that's done, that comes away and I can just lift this off. And then with those 2 bits taken off, that's the end of that stage. So in stage 97, here's the instructions. We've got the bottom of his belly where the legs are going to go here. We're going to be putting the feet into the belly here and I'm going to be gluing them around. Now, I'm going to do it different to the instructions just so you know, and I'll explain what I'm going to do in a second. Then we're going to be putting these over the top, putting this base back in, so the speaker's going to then be encased in his belly, so it's looking just like that. And this is the rest of the instructions. So here's what the belly looks like. We've got the front, which has got the bigger fold at the top here, and the back, which has got the smaller hole. So this is the front. Now when we put these feet in, which if this is the front, they're going to go in this way, these are shaped. So you can kind of tell what direction they're going to go in here. So I'm just going to put one in, just so I can double check. Yeah, they look good. It's going to go in just like that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting it in with some glue along the bottom here. So I've got my brush on glue. And they want you to do a bit at the time. I'm not going to do that. I'm pretty confident with myself here. I'm going to glue all the way around. I do have some working time with this glue, just so you know. It doesn't glue instantly. But because there is a pattern or a shape, I know what way this is going to go in. So line that up. It is going to be good for you to actually do it this way around, so it's upside down. And ensure that this is in uniform all the way around. Now I'm going to use some clamps because it's best to actually hold this in one side at a time. So I've got that side in. Let me just do this side. And I've just glued at the moment just the inside of this half here. I haven't glued this side yet, because what I want to do is I want this to set and then I'll put the other half in. And this is one of these points now where I'm going to have to cut away because it does take about 3 or 4 minutes with my glue to dry. And when you're happy with that, that is how it should look. Using clamps is definitely the way to go with this. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So once again, what I do is I put some glue just around half of it. Now in the instructions they're saying do a tiny bit at a time. I'm just doing half at a time. Once again, just follow the shape. And then I'm using clamps to help keep that in. And when they're in, they should look like that. Okay, put that to one side. Bring over the ET base here. I will clean that later. And I want to be putting this over the top so the feet are here. So it's just a case of threading the cables through and ensure this fits right over the top, just like that. Excellent, that's how his feet are looking. We're then going to be putting the bottom base back into place again. So it's a case of putting these wires up through here. And the same on this side. Making sure nothing is pinched in there. Excellent. Lie it down and then screw these 4 screws back into place. And there you go. So with that in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So this is actually a really enjoyable pack once the problems have been solved. This is the last stage here. This is stage 98. As you can see, we've got the big belly section now. So we're going to be actually reattaching ET onto this section here, plugging him back in again. It doesn't look like we're putting the belly in at the moment. We're just putting all the cables back in. So let me show you what that belly looks like. And this is the rest of the instructions. So this is what the belly looks like. It's massive. Look at it. I don't know which way round this goes. That looks like legs to me. I don't know. I wouldn't go that way, would it? It'll go that way for the pecs. I'm guessing that's going to be fitting over the top, kind of just like that, which again will eventually need gluing into here and stuff. I don't quite know how we're going to do that yet. Probably a bit at a time, like we were doing for the legs. But that's going to be how that goes. But we can now put ET back on. So all we've got to do is put it back on the things and just reconnect these wires up. So I'm going to do that now. And then finally what I'll do is I'll just put his head back on there. Perfect. Let's try them all out. Turn him on. His fingers are all over the place at the moment. Okay, and let's press some buttons. So number 5. There you go, his head's still working again. That's good. Turn that one off. Number 6. There you go, his arm's doing that. And his finger lights up. That one. Oh, which is the head, which I haven't plugged in. Let's plug the head back in. There you go. Do that again. There's the head. I'm just winging on the World of Wayne channel, I'm telling you. And then this one here, which is the heart. And then if we get it to do one session of movements.
Be good.
There you go. Not bad, huh? Do another one.
E.T. Fanhome.
Let's put his hand in a little bit there. This one.
E.T. E.T. E.T.
And then finally, that one.
I'll be right here.
But yeah, everything is working, as you can see. I'm happy. Oh, I was stressing over that, especially when things go wrong, but I'm glad I managed to fix them. So that is the ET build for today. Not many left to go now. I think might be just 2 packs left to do, and then ET will be finished. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.